Right, so to start out with, you can lie in the prone position, or excuse me, supine position, and just hands flat by your sides or somewhere thereabouts. And then you raise your arms overhead and bring your feet together and stretch the whole body in the two directions. And then back by your sides. Intense things, you can push your arms into your sides and then reach overhead again. Stretch it out. And by your sides. And overhead. And then relax with your arms overhead. So your arms are straight over and your feet are pointing straight down. Okay, now we'll do some of the rolling by just letting your arm guide you from the top and roll over to your side to come into a prone position. And then back over, leading with your arm. And then to the other side, leading with your arm. And back over. This time, lead with your foot, your leg, and back over. The other side with the leg, and back over. This time, lead with your hips, and back over. To the other side with the hips, and back over. All right, you take your arms and put them down about 45 degrees down, then bring your feet up towards your buttocks and lift your hips into a bridge. We'll just do that about 5 times. Make sure you're breathing. All right, now just go ahead and reach your one arm, let's say your right arm, over towards your left side and bridge up on that shoulder, your left shoulder. And then to the other side, bridging up onto your right shoulder. We'll just do that a few times here. Couple more. All right, go ahead and bring your knees up. You can cradle your knees, squeeze them into your chest. Get yourself a little bit of roll from side to side, just a little bit of back massage. All right, from here, get into a little bit of rocking. So you can do your rocking either by keeping your feet from touching the floor or letting your feet touch the floor, up to you. All right, now let's go ahead and rock in a circle. Coming back to your starting point, and then opposite direction. And then come up to a bent sit position. Okay, once you're up to that bent sit position, go ahead and move to a side bent sit position and post if you like. Don't post if you don't feel like you need to. It's up to you. Just try to get the rotation in the hip for a bit. And switch to the other side. Try to work out that rotation. Back to the other side. And reach behind you. extend, and then the opposite direction. Back behind you again. Opposite direction. Roll back over to the other side. Same thing. Extend behind you. Opposite direction. And behind you. Like you're reaching for something. Opposite direction. Then back over to the other side. Bring your head down toward the floor. Then grab your other shin and pull yourself in that direction again. Back down to the floor. Grab a shin again. Back to the other side. Down to the floor. Grab a shin. To the floor. And grab a shin. All right, back to bent sit. Now, use a hand to post and try to reach behind you a bit. When you do, try to keep both buttocks on the ground, on the floor, then to the opposite side. Okay, now without the post and using whichever side you're turning to reach back and extend. You can use your other arm for leverage if you need to. Then the opposite side. All right. Come into cross leg. Come up tall and bend forward without rounding the back first, and reach out and sort of elevate your arms so that you're extending without bending your back. Then back and post up, push the hips up. Switch to cross leg, extend. And post up. All right. Now reach behind you. And the other side. All right, feet together now. Pull them in. Nice and tall. And then bring them down as far as you can. Rounding your back, flat, whichever you like. Then behind you, you can post up and push the hips forward. All right. Now come over in figure 4, and we'll work on some of that we did a little bit earlier, where you can use your arm to push up and get into a nice split squat or half split squat. And then back down, switching to the other side, pushing up. To the other side again. Go ahead and reach this time. And then back to the other side. And back down. I will come up to tall kneeling, or tall split kneeling. Back down. We'll just do this a few times. There's a little windshield wiper movement on the back leg when you come up. All right, let's come over into a kneeling position. Or before that, we'll come up to a quadrupedal position with the knees and the hands. And you can use flex foot or flat foot on the back, it's up to you. And just lean forward and then back down, forward and back. All right, into a kneeling position, just for a few seconds, and then tall kneeling. You'll do this a few times. Make sure you're still breathing. Nice and easy, with some pretty good breaths. And one more. And then we'll come up and we'll do a balance on one knee for a few seconds, like 10 seconds or so. And then the other side. And then back down. Now we're going to come forward and come into a plank position. And then back to kneeling. And for those that feel they can, you can come to this plank position and incorporate some push-ups. 5 or so is good enough. If not, just hold the plank position and then back. Now to the sides, where you're just leaning your body weight shifting to the sides. And then you're doing opposite sides. And then back out for more planks or push-ups. Back to kneeling. And then stretching out to kneeling. So we'll do basically a clock movement for this. You come back down, do the other side forward. And you come back down and sort of like spread out the clock. So you're going 45 out. 45 out again. Then to the side. Opposite side. And then a quarter behind. And the other side. And back to kneeling. All right, then back out to that quadrupedal position. This time we're going to incorporate a little bit of crawling, so a knee-hand crawl, just 3 steps forward or so, and 3 steps back, 3 steps forward, 3 steps back, Now out to the side. So you're taking 3 steps to one direction and back in the other direction. And you can keep going in the same direction for another 3 steps and then back toward the middle where you started. All right. And then make some circles. And switch directions. And this time, foot hand crawling, same thing. So you're coming up, raising the knees, and then taking those 3 steps. And back. And forwards. And backwards. And then to the sides. And then the opposite direction. And keep going in that opposite direction. And then back to your starting point. And then some circles. And switching directions. All right, then just press into your deep knee bend and forward a bit. Do that a few times. Adjust your hands if you need to. And then work your way into a deep knee bend. Settle there for a moment. Then you can lean to one side. And switch sides. And go through that pattern for a little bit. This is getting into your flex foot kneeling. And then back to a flex foot kneeling. Hold that for a few moments. And if you feel like you're ready, you can use your post if you need to, or your hands. You can lean back to come into your deep knee bend. And you can go through that pattern a few times. All right, back to that quadrupedal. We're actually moving in to just try to iron out some of the tissue inside the hip area. Just kind of moving around a bit in that low position, using your hands to support your body a bit. Getting a bit primate. All right. Now raise your hips just a bit more. Come up just a bit higher. Put a little bit of stepping in there instead. Till you're at this hinge walking position. Just moving around a bit. Raise your body up a little bit higher. A little bit higher. A little bit higher. And now you're walking around like a human. Just walk it off a bit. And we're done. All right, so that was just an example of a flow that you can use. I'm not sure how many minutes it took. We'll find out eventually. But basically, working from a ground position, from the MovNat position, a supine position, where you're completely relaxed, start going through your flow, doing a lot of ground movement, work your way up a little bit higher, eventually ending in a standing position, walking around. Just an example though, like I said before, you could do it where you're repeating a pattern over and over again, however you feel you should go at that moment. Same thing for your clients. You can give them a full swap of a session, let's say, or you can just pick out bits and pieces and have them go through a particular area to flow in. So, many ways to dress a cat. All right, any questions on that? NDS flow? Any thoughts? Anyone want to try anything?